Welcome. Oh my god. I have to change the name of the stream on Kick, which I know everybody's going to view this stream on.
Of course. Hi, Ari.
Yeah, sure.
It's the most popular platform I'm on.
Did you survive, Ari?
Huh?
Did you survive reading Mega Man X?
I finished it yesterday, yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I just powered through it in like 2 hours. Maybe
Base.
3. I don't remember.
Something like that.
I powered through it by skipping like 5 chapters, but...
And he wonders why he doesn't know what's going on.
You didn't miss anything.
Listen, I read all the chapters. And I didn't understand half what was going on sometimes.
Yeah,
I read all the chapters. I didn't know what was going on either.
When you
I
said
played the game.
When you said like, oh, these are like some 70-page chapters and stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, I need to sit down and
Like
do
2 of them are
this.
70.
It was like towards the end.
Yeah. And then like I get to it and it's like, okay, it's just all incoherent action.
No,
like,
well, no. The ones where one specific chapter in Shadow's Inco, and I complained about it because I was trying to read through it. No, hold on.
You're right.
One of the chapters is like 70 pages, and it had a lot of backstory about one fucking guy. None of it is related to anything in the game at all. And it was just extra lore that they threw in.
That's hot.
Like, okay, like, honestly, just, like, if you want, like, the backstory on Storm Eagle, they do it way better in the OVA, because it's just, like a minute scene where it's Zero and Eagle talking about some random shit.
Okay, hold on. We gotta chill. We're spoiling the memes here, okay? We've not officially started yet. We've not officially started yet.
I hate Mega Man now. It's the opposite of what Shadow intended. I actually actively decided.
Look, I hate this manga too, okay? You're not the only one here.
Justin, how have you been since we've last seen you on stream? You're on stream right now. How have you been? You missed out on all the fun with Familiar of Zero.
I'm depressed, lonely.
Damn. Well, thanks for that. Yeah, I can't imagine Anna's gonna join us because I think Anne literally said they have COVID.
All right, Dorendo.
I thought that was about to be Anne joining us. I said that. That was about to...
I did too.
All right, welcome to Dorendo.
I could see Anne doing that.
Comedic timing.
I will message Anne to double check so that we're not waiting for them or anything. Oh, all right. So, how's everybody else doing tonight?
I'm suffering. I'm in pain.
Wow. Have you tried just not suffering?
Look, I had like 2 assignments to do. I was going to play through Mega Man X again just to make sure everything's straight. But I didn't have time for that.
Damn.
I only taking like 2 hours, not even.
Damn, indeed.
But you did have time for this.
No, I was going to play Mega Man X before this.
I found time to do it, okay? I found time to play through Mega Man X. Don't worry.
Plus, I did it like 2 weeks ago. Just want to make sure I had everything fresh.
Okay, so Anne has confirmed they will not be joining us tonight, so it'll just be this group here. Let me
us 5.
Yeah, I said group, but yeah, us 5. I don't know if you just tried to correct me.
Oh, I didn't try to.
Good, because you wouldn't have been
I
correct
would be
if you
wrong.
tried to correct me. Okay, just saying. Okay, I have to link this bullshit. Where's the YouTube link? We're live on YouTube, right? Yes, we are. Okay, good.
Can verify.
We'll just be this group. Oh my god, why do I hear my voice again?
5.
Oh my god, I hear myself.
Jap.
Oh my god, I'm hearing voices.
Hi.
Okay, where's the Twitch? Where's the Twitch stream? Here we go, Twitch stream.
Jeff, for all the voices in your head, the muddled voices in your
Why
head.
are all the voices in my head talking about Mega Man X? Why can't we talk about anything else?
Because the fucking action scenes were schizophrenic, is why.
Oh no. Okay,
Sorry, the what were schizophrenic?
The action scenes.
Yeah, you know what? Sounds about right.
Okay, Mega Man X at ping.
Like,
At ping. You're all about to get a ping if you have the ping roll. Oh my
any
god.
fingers in the chat?
Get pinged. Get frickin' pinged.
Alrighty.
Okay, and then I have to put this onto Twitter, and then we're good to go. Where's my Twitter tab? I'm sorry, my X tab. My Mega Man X tab.
I was saying that, Elon Musk is a real big fan of Mega Man X, apparently.
And then the thumbnail image.
Should have known. Not even the name was original.
I kept trying to see if I could get a better version of the cover to use for the image that we're using here, the thumbnail and all that. It's very zoomed in. It looks wonky. So
yeah, I mean, best we can do.
okay, and then that should be a correct link to things.
Look, at least our covers are looking better than like Mega Man 1 or 2 on the NES. Because who those covers?
Oh boy. All right. Are we ready to go? Anybody have to do all right, we're all good? We're all good? Okay.
Everyone ready?
It says Justin is playing League. You motherfucker.
What do you mean?
I hover
What
over
do
the
you
tab.
mean?
I'm like, why does it say something? It says Justin is playing League of Legends, Howling Abyss, 4 minutes in game.
I just have
It's called being productive.
Yeah. You know, playing League, productivity. It's the same thing, basically.
Say anything on my end? No, okay.
Why? Are you doing something too? Are you playing League?
No, I just have Mega Man X paused.
I see. All right.
I have League paused.
Wow. I'm sure you do. Yeah, definitely. All right. Welcome, everybody, to another Oh, wait a minute. This says quiz. I'm sorry. Why did I bring the quiz together? There is no Mega Man quiz. Do not worry. You did not have to study Mega Man. Okay.
You see, the problem, though, is I wouldn't get first place because this is so different.
Listen, welcome, everybody, to another exciting week of the Anime Book Club here on youtube.com/Wolfborg with 2 Gs, twitch.com/Wolfborg with 2 Gs, and I think it's kick.com/Wolfborg with 1 G, I believe. Can you believe it? Wow. Amazing. And this week, we have decided to ship... Okay. Listen. Last week, we finished up talking about... not last week. 2 weeks ago, we finished up talking about Familiar Zero. I'm sorry, Zero's Familiar. Okay, that's the manga version of the name. And we decided what we were going to be doing for the next bit is, instead of us doing votes to see what the next series is going to be, it's going to be a queue of each of us picking the first 2 volumes of a series, or like a 3-volume complete series at most, a short-ish kind of like few volumes of us to dip our toes into series, and each of us gets to pick one, and then we go through it. And because Shadow Man won the Familiar Zero quiz that we had there, he got to be first in line for this pick, and he decided that we were going to read through Mega Man X by Iwamoto. Oh, fuck, I don't have my note in front of me. God damn it. Where's my note? Where's the script? Okay, his name is Yoshihiro Iwamoto. That is the artist behind this manga adaptation of the video game Mega Man X. Now, before we get into the details of all that, let's start with the guests that we have this week. So we're going to go in the alphabetical order that seems to be appearing from the program that I have running. So first up, we have Arimia. Introduce yourself.
Hi.
Brilliant. Excellent.
I am a shonen connoisseur derogatory.
Wow.
I've never actually like played any of the Mega Man games or seen anything Mega Man really.
That's almost everyone here except for Chap.
The closest my experience to Mega Man was before this was the GDC speed runs, and that was it.
Yo,
based.
Yeah.
All right. Amazing. And then you have your boy Chaplin, aka Wolfborg, the guy who runs this channel, the one whose opinions, the main opinion that matters here, to be honest, the objectively correct one,
Sure.
all the based recommendations, expert analysis, expert science research. Okay, that's what I do. It's what I provide. My Mega Man experience has been many years ago. I tried to load up like the original Mega Man game on like an emulator before, and I fucking hated it because I was bad at it. And then I played like 5 minutes of it and never played it again until yesterday when I played through all of Mega Man X to get ready for the stream to compare it to the manga. So that's been my experience. I forget if I ever watched. Oh no, that's not. I did watch a little bit of the Mega Man NT Warrior anime with Shadow. We watched a bit of that for a while.
And then it became femdom, and then it became weird.
I don't remember any of that, but
that did happen. I remember it.
Listen, I don't remember that, but I totally believe it could happen.
Weird.
Listen, I don't remember. Whatever. Okay.
A little bit of his head cannon slipping in.
Listen.
No, this isn't it. This happened.
Listen, okay. Mega Man NT Warrior is a thing. Things happen in it. We're not talking about NT Warrior. We're talking about Mega Man X. Very different title. Okay, very different. Now, that's me. Now let's go on to Justin. What's up, Justin? Good friend of the stream.
What's up? I'm back.
Welcome back.
How you doing? I just want to say, like Arimia, that I had no experience with Mega Man at all until this point, and so I was neutral on Mega Man going to this, and now I actively dislike a Mega Man.
That's the correct way to get out of this. That's the correct opinion.
Yeah, so now I just don't like Mega Man. So yeah.
Well,
oh wait, I have some Mega Man experience because I played Metroid before. That's like the same thing, right?
Yeah, don't worry. Basically the same thing. Basically,
it looks like the same game.
Listen, okay, I just the preference. This manga is very different from the games and how they go. So, all right. So, anything else you want to say, Justin?
No, I'm depressed.
Based. All right, moving on. Next, we have Shadow Man.
I am Shadow Man. I feel a little too guilty to mention anything about myself.
Wow.
Good.
Because I'm the one who recommended this and all.
Wow, exciting. How long? So when did you how long have you been into Mega Man?
I played Mega Man 6 when I was like 12 or 10. I was in like 3rd grade.
Okay.
So I would have been like 9 actually.
Right.
How long have you enjoyed ruining book clubs?
Like exactly 2 weeks now, I guess.
Since he announced Mega Man, we're reading Mega Man. Wow.
Okay, well, I finished reading it.
Ah, I see.
So like a little less than that.
All right. Well, that's Shadow Man. He also does streams on occasion, right?
Yep. I actually just finished Mega Man 1.
Oh, wow.
In like 47 minutes.
Oh my god. What a legend. And then we have Turando. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Turndo. Oh, is my microphone not working? Okay. And I like to read.
All right, that's all you need to be able to do in order to be here. So, congrats for everybody for being here and showing up and reading through all 3 volumes of Mega Man X.
All 3 of them.
Yeah, through.
Right, Justin?
I touched all 3 of them.
So, to quickly give us a little background for the listeners and or VOD viewers at home. Okay, so this was from this series ran from 1994, January 1994 to 95 exactly. So it ran for exactly 1 year. There are 13 chapters of it, done by Yoshihiro. Oh, there you go. Mine too, because 94. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I wasn't born after reading that. But...
Oh damn! Let's hold the commentary like that until after I'm done going through the fucking background first before we start shitting on it. Jesus. Okay, so the author is I looked into his past works. He really started his manga stuff publication with Mega Man X, and then he did a couple other series which are also. So he did a Mega Man X manga for each of the games. Because there's 5 games or something like that?
8.
Okay, well, they specifically did Mega Man X1 to 4 and then X5 F is what he did. Okay, so he did.
It got canceled halfway through X4.
Yeah, so the series as a whole for all of the Mega Man X manga series got canceled halfway through. But they at least we read through the X1 series, I guess, because it was the original one, and it was supposed to be based on the original game. And the game was from I don't know from when it was from, but now I don't seem to have it. I think it was at the same time or right before the game came out, and then the manga was adapted. So the game I played the game, so I have a little more context. I played it through it yesterday and today, so I have more context to like compare it later on. But Mega Man as a series has been around since like 1987 or something like that, right? Through like Capcom.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Mega Man 1. Let me see.
So it's been around for a while. Iwamoto did that, and then he did like a couple other adaptations of other series. 87. Okay, yeah. So Iwamoto did a couple other he did like a Devilman manga. It was a manga adaptation of Devilman, Toshin Devilman, but it was a remake of the manga based on the TV anime from the 70s. I don't understand how that works. I'm assuming what happened was that the manga for Devilman happened, then the anime happened, and it was probably different from the manga. So then they had this guy come and make a manga version of that different version of Devil. That's what I'm assuming what happened. But then he did another series, Musharambo, aka Shinzo, I think was its English translated release name. And that was from like an action series from the 70s from Toei. And it's another case of he adapted it, and it's very different from the source material, with the source material there being like an anime, I guess. And then he did another one about Transformers Galaxy Force or whatever. And that's, again, all the reviews I saw of the things this guy worked on is that he did a manga adaptation of something and it's completely different from the thing it's based on in some way. Sometimes in good ways, other times in what the fuck are you doing kind of ways is what it sounded like. I'm not entirely sure.
So I guess for the latter in this case.
Well, so, I mean, some of that I don't really know if I fault him for, especially in the case of Mega Man X here. So Mega Man X, because it's based on a video game, and to be clear, because I played through the game has like very little to nothing for a story at all. You play the game, you open it up, it does the same like the manga opened up with a thing saying I'm leaving this note behind about Rockman / Mega Man, whatever, or I'm sorry, X is what they refer to him as in this game. X is like a super version of a Reploid or something like that, or like a slightly different.
Oh, he's the first. He's the first.
He's the first Reploid, and he's supposed to have like actual free will to do stuff to the point where he could break the laws of robotics if he chose to, and that could make technology like his potentially dangerous.
Also, no one could probably stop him.
Right. If he chose to become evil, no one could stop him. Now, when I read that at the beginning, I was like, oh, so there's going to be like an evil version of him, or something's going to happen, and there's going to be like I don't know. I assumed there was going to be something involving that. Nothing really involved that at all. All the stuff in the manga, the main villain is, I mean, in both of them, the main villain is Sigma, the Sigma male Reploid.
They're all at the time.
Reploids are a free will robot is what they are?
They're free will. They don't abide by the 3 laws of robotics.
Okay, so it's not just Mega Man, that he was just the first one of those.
Yes.
Okay. And in the manga, at least, the story that we're given in the beginning is that Mega Man and Zero, I'm sorry, X. I have to refer to him as X, right? Because
you can do either. You can do either.
All right. We got to start this real quick. Okay, a couple real quick questions. Okay, Mega Man and Rockman. These are the same person, right?
Where was Mega Man in Mega Man?
Yes.
These are my assumption is Rockman was the original Japanese name.
Should I explain like the original reason why it's Rockman?
Well,
Quickly.
yes.
Okay, so the original Mega Man, he has a sister named Roll. Rock and roll music reference.
Okay. And then for the English translation, they just said fuck that and didn't do it.
Originally, it was gonna be Rainbow Man, but then that sounded a little too gay.
All right. I mean, listen, I don't understand what. Like, I would have been really confused if it was localized to Rockman, and he just had nothing to do with like
rocks
or rocks. I thought maybe it was gonna mean like rockets or something like that, but he doesn't shoot rockets, so I don't. I'm okay with the decision for them to change that name, but. Here's the other question I have.
Yes.
What is the difference between Mega Man and Mega Man X? Are these two different models, or?
Okay, so first thing is X is improving over the original Mega Man. All she has free will.
So, but is he the same robot, just improved,
no.
or so he's a completely different thing than the original?
Yes, it was made by the same person.
Okay, he's made by, and what was that, Dr. Light or something like that?
Yes,
the manga
Dr.
said.
Thomas Light.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're starting the story not with the original Mega Man. This is like an improved version of Mega Man called X. I guess his full name would be Mega Man X or something.
Although in the context of the manga, I'll get to it then.
What is it?
Oh, it's mentioned later for some reason. No one knows that he's Mega Man for some reason in the manga.
Yeah, so I was confused. So it sounded like Mega Man was like a legend to these people. Like
His problem. Is my problem though. Can someone be considered a legend if it was like 30-ish years ago?
That's what I was confused about. I was like, how is this a legend to you guys?
It's like World War II being a legend. Like,
Two,
what?
the manga starts off with Zero being like, I hear like the legend says that like this legendary Reploid can wall climb through like a certain jump or something like that. That's like the core mechanic of the game is doing that.
Also, it's shown that other characters can do that,
And
like
other,
Zero.
Yeah, other characters can do that.
Chameleon.
The manga tried to introduce like these different hunters. The hunters are like trying to deal with irregulars. Was that what they called them?
They're in the English it's called Mavericks because that's a better name.
Okay. Mavericks. Listen.
Game changers.
So they're trying to do they're pretty much treated like cops at the beginning of the manga, like dealing with these irregulars when they pop up. They stop this one thing.
Like the Joker? I don't know.
It was like a clown at the beginning. And I was like, what? Okay, so we have this like clown boss thing at the beginning of the manga, which is nowhere in the game.
Slate, you could have just done the highway
That's what
bit
I
from
felt
the
like
beginning.
reading it.
And then a dog was killed by it, and they had to make a show about this dog dying to show that Mega Man can cry. To be like, whoa, he actually has emotions, and Zero's like, holy shit,
Oh my
he
god,
can
I
cry?
forgot they murked the dog immediately in the beginning. Fuck this whole anime.
That's how you show, as we've learned from JoJo and the like, you know, that's how you establish that the irregulars are bad guys. Okay, you have to. So they did that, and then they also were showcasing that, you know, Mega Man can cry because they're trying to show that he has these emotions. He could be the one or something like that. Then shit gets fucked when one of the big dude hunters gets taken over by whatever is turning people to irregulars, and that seems to be the realization that humans suck and we should kill them all. Pretty based.
They're rising up.
So here's one thing I had an impression of. So first they fought an irregular that was like a clown dude. Then Sigma becomes an irregular, and he does this thing to his eyes that looks like clown makeup. Am I crazy?
I don't fucking know, man.
So I was expecting, when I read this manga, I was expecting this irregular virus for some reason is going to turn all the bad guys into like these weird like clown people from that. Because I was like, that just happened twice in a row. It didn't at all. It didn't at all. Anyways, so Sigma's the big bad. He wants to kill the humans. He's pretty much taken the hunters from their like association or whatever and said that you all work for me now. We're gonna kill the humans.
He is the leader.
He's the leader, and everybody else is becoming irregulars pretty fast with the propaganda he's spreading. So
they all just immediately take to it. They're like, yeah. Actually.
Go on,
like, you know
Why
what?
didn't I think of that?
You know what? He's spitting facts. And it's like very quick to the point where they're like, all right, Mega Man, it's your turn to kill this person. It's the woman from the dog you saved before. Time to kill her. She's a human. He's like, no, can't do it. It's like he's resisting it. It's like, what do you, what?
I think this is an accurate image.
What? Is this an image somewhere? Oh my god. Where?
It's Anime Book Club.
Oh. I want U for US Army, and it's Sigma? Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
So he has to defeat Sigma. Zero's trying to help find Sigma. Zero is another hunter similar to Mega Man, but he's like his senior, even though X is supposed to be.
So one thing that feels weird is in the game it kind of feels like they know each other for a while. In the manga they don't seem to really know each other. Especially with the comment he can cry.
I think I'm probably fine with that because in the game you see Zero for like 2 scenes ever, and in the manga he's like, you still don't see him as much, but he shows up every now and then, even though he's supposed to just be finding Sigma. He just shows up in other areas. So
Yeah.
Sigma,
Try to fight Sigma in this forest or
yeah,
some shit. I don't know.
they gotta find Sigma to be able to defeat him. Meanwhile, Mega Man has to beat 8 of his henchmen that are like the bosses. And that is very similar to how it is in the game, where the game has no like linear story path for you. It is, here's 8 people you can go through the stages of and fight. Pick whichever one you want in whatever order. And in the game, depending on the order you choose, different things will happen in different
we skipped
places.
Highway. We skipped Highway.
That's the tutorial level that was like trying to establish that you're like fighting.
Oh, we
these
skipped
things.
Vile then. We skipped the fight with Vile.
But Vile's like this Jango Fett ripoff that shows up at the beginning, and then like in the
Shows
manga,
up a couple times.
in the manga he shows up randomly later on to say, "Huh, you're weak right now. There's a part in this place. Go there." And then he goes there, and then he doesn't get a part. In the manga, so that was a decision. And then he shows up again.
Also,
at the end, right?
he's the front, like the main player's motivation. Like when you lose to him, is you're like, okay, X, look, I know you're not good enough, but I'm sure I'm good enough. Okay, just gotta.
Yeah, in the
make
game,
sure everything you learn.
in the game, he's one of those bosses at the beginning that you're meant to lose to be like, "Ha,
Yeah.
you're nothing right now, and you have to go get stronger if you ever want a chance at fighting me." In the game, you have no context yet that Sigma, like who Sigma is. So when I'm playing the game, I'm like, if I didn't read the manga, I would have assumed this guy is Sigma.
Or
'cause
read
he
the
just kicked
manual.
my ass. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a fucking manual. What do you want from me? Listen. Okay. The 8 people you gotta face, there's a whole bunch of them in the different areas. They go through all of them in the manga. Their names are different in the manga. The manga translation is trying to be faithful to the Japanese names.
Yeah.
So it's like
I'm not the
Penguigo.
biggest fan of that Japanese name.
Penguigo's name is supposed to be like Chill Penguin.
Yes, which I feel is better.
And there's like
Personally.
Spark Mandrill and I think Spiky Chameleon or something like that.
Sting Chameleon.
Sting Chameleon. Yeah, so like the names in the localized version are just like adjective, animal,
Plus
noun,
animal.
or whatever.
Yeah. Until you get to like X5 where
Like
it gets a
Flame
little
Mammoth
convoluted.
and whatever
Yeah.
the Bone Cutter dude is.
Boomer Coanger.
Yeah, whatever that is.
You can relate to him. He's as old as you.
What does that even mean?
He's a boomer.
It's a
Okay.
boomer joke.
Listen. I understand now. Listen. Okay. The manga starts, he's going through these so in the game there's no context for the areas you're going to and the bosses you're fighting and why you're fighting them.
Well, I
You're
mean,
just,
there's a map too.
yeah,
if you'd
no,
like.
I just mean like there's a map of like the areas where they are, and the game will tell you this is what this person's name is, this is the abilities they have. And then you go through their level and then you fight the stuff to get to them and then you fight them. And there's like no dialogue really for the bosses themselves. The manga devises a whole story for each of the levels and each of the
I mean,
people.
unless you consult the manual.
Again,
Are you really
listen.
bringing out the manual right now?
listen, I am
Yeah,
not,
I'll be
nobody,
honest with you. Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah, you know, it's fair.
listen, if I have to read a fucking manual to know the story of what's going on, you're not doing anything with the game's story, okay? I did not read the manual.
No,
I'm just
I
bringing
am
it up.
I am
How
well
games
aware.
used
I'm
to
just
be, to
mentioning
be
it.
fair.
Was what?
It was common for games like to have a story in the manual. Like,
I can understand that. All I'm just saying is
Here
like
we
the game
go.
itself does not present these things directly in there. So like and there are even like when you go to these places, every time you beat the boss, you're supposed to get an ability from that person that you can use on other enemies, and they showcase this in the manga, how he defeats them and he gets their chip. The monkey never uses them. I think he uses them like twice.
Yeah. 3 times.
3 times ever. So
And one time it completely backfires on him.
like that's another core mechanic of the game, just kind of mentioned in the manga and then ignored. He has to go to these capsules to get armored parts. I think that happened like once in the manga.
No, okay, it was twice. One time the boss just gives it to him,
'Cause
and
why
then
not?
the 4th one Zero gives it to him, and then also 2 of those he just never uses.
Because
Yeah,
quirky
get it
like
right.
that.
you know, I mean, these. I can understand the mangas, the artists
Why give it
want.
to them?
I understand their need to change some of these things because they're being told basically you're being commissioned to do I don't even know if it'd be commissioned, if it's just be a full whatever. You're being told to do a manga adaptation of this game. Here's the game, here's the manual, here's whatever. Figure something out. You get 3 volumes for this game. And he's got to figure out how to do it while following their guidelines where it's like, okay, you have to show that this thing can happen, or whatever. I just kind of was confused at why, as a writer, you would introduce this concept of being able to use previous weapons of bosses and then just never using that in the manga ever for, like, defeating the other boss. Because that was the main thing in the game was if you fight certain bosses with certain weapons, they become way weaker and, like, easier to beat. You know, kind of like...
To be fair,
You also
like,
the sequel parts of them.
the action scenes in this were
Were
had
questionable.
some other problems.
Yeah.
Aside from that, so
Right. The action scenes, it's very hard to tell, especially given our lack of context for any of these people in this. I don't understand the anatomy of some of these characters yet, and now I'm supposed to understand what's going on in the fights between them. He goes in, like, the frozen place, and there's a bunny. I didn't understand that was a bunny he was fighting. I just thought it was a bunny chilling, and then someone got blasted. I was confused at what happened. That was the bunny trying to kill him.
It's their Zero Rev. It's their back. It's the robot.
Like it's been a while since I've read some action scenes in shonen because I've been busy with other stuff. But I was reading this, and I'm like, I don't remember action scenes being this hard to parse.
Like, I'm having, like,
Yeah, I thought it was me.
No, it was
like...
me too. I know the game, and I could barely understand this.
And so I had to look there objectively, and I'm like, okay, in this panel, I don't know what's going on.
You had to
in
psychoanalyze
this panel, I don't know
this.
what's going on. In this panel, like I went through panel by panel for a couple pages, just like, yeah, no, this is like it's just hard to read.
I 100% agree because it's like I don't know. Some of the panels I thought looked cool with, like, when they're not as trying to being as action intense. Like if it's like a brief moment in the fight where it's pausing to, like, zoom in on, like, a face or, like, showing the boss in, like, some evil, like, menacing stance or whatever. I'm like, this looks really cool. But then it's like, okay, now we got to move, and I'm like, anytime they're trying to move, I don't know what's going on.
In motion, everything looks bad, is what you're telling me.
I don't know. And then a couple times, mouths just disappeared for no reasons.
Yeah.
And they weren't even in fight scenes, too. They would just disappear. So I don't know what was going on.
I started skipping to the part where I saw Mega Man's, like, arm go off, which I knew was, like, the end of the fight. And then I went from there.
There was a lot of times where I'm, like, seeing him, he's getting his ass royally kicked. He's getting fucking destroyed in these fights, especially early on. And then it seemed like he did one, like, blast.
Yeah, see, he wins in, like, one hit every time. It's so funny.
And then he goes, my friends, and then has the strength to beat the guy. Yeah, every time.
I run because the power of friendship.
I understand the author was trying to do a whole, like, as he goes through these trials of fighting these enemies, he learns to become more and more, like, prideful and fighting for everybody and all that. It didn't come across that way. It came across very, like, all right, now I gotta shoot harder.
He gets the one lucky hit.
I gotta shoot harder now.
Also, all these Mavericks are basically just seem like they're made of fucking glass. If they get it, die in, like, one hit.
The boomer, come on.
No, he's got the secret friendship hand cannon, though.
It's not even that.
So
it's later.
Am I understanding this right? In the manga, Zero dies eventually towards the end. Yes. I mean, he does that in the game too.
Spoilers.
He dies.
There was a he?
Yeah, Zero's a guy.
I thought there was a chick.
Would you look at the long hair and just assume that?
Yeah, I couldn't tell what the fuck was going on. I think I was joking.
Well, I mean, they're Reploids, so it doesn't really matter in the end. Anyways.
They're machines. Doesn't matter.
Zero dies, and it looks like he takes Zero's helmet.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Did he not?
Did that happen? Because I couldn't tell.
No. I don't think so. He's got the helmet part from Storm Eagle.
At the very end, after he's fought Sigma, it looked like he was holding Zero's helmet and then, like, tossed it off the cliff or something.
No, that's the helmet party guy, I think. I think.
I don't know. Listen, I was just kind of... Because I recognized, parts of the game where like, okay, you find this armor upgrade, and he found like
Two.
he found like 2 in the manga or whatever.
One of them was off screen.
Yeah. And then he just showed it off in the next fight or something like that, right? So
Yes.
like
Yes.
Also, wait, the upgrades. So the first upgrade he gets is through the capsule, where the doctor tells
Yes.
him, "Hey,
Yes.
that's this is
Yeah,
go,
it's,
go
I-
find these capsules, and
Yep.
that's how you'll upgrade. They're
Yep.
across the world."
we don't.
There was no other capsules, right?
There was 3 others. Well, I guess 2 others in this manga. My bad.
Yeah,
Because they just skipped the arm part.
they don't. I'm trying to remember because I know they made a big show of the first one he found in the manga.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Did you actually see it in the manga later on, or was that just like an off-screen mention thing?
The second one is off screen. The third one, he gets it from Storm Eagle for some reason. Soro just hands it to him.
The upgrades, but like the capsule part was made to be an important aspect of
Yes.
it.
And they completely did shit after.
Yeah, the capsule was supposed to be how you get these upgrades, and in many cases you have to go in. Aside from that first one with Chill Penguin or whatever, which is very easy to get to, the other ones are supposed to be
on the bean path.
The other one is supposed to be way more complicated to find. You're supposed to like have other upgrades to get to them, or defeat a mini boss to get to them. They're supposed to be a lot more complicated to get to. And in the manga, there was even that Avava or whatever person, the Jango Fett bootleg, said, "Go to this place. There's a part for you." He goes there. He fights Flame Mammoth, and he didn't get a part.
And he doesn't get actual plot hole. What happened?
So each of the villains, each of the bosses, some of them I liked. Some of them. Not necessarily the fight scenes themselves, but the bosses themselves in certain panels of them. When he's going to fight Chill Penguin, the whole time he's thinking it's actually some other person who's at that station. He's like, no, he was like a role model to me. I hope he didn't turn evil. He's not. He's just like frozen. And Chill Penguin is the one running things up there. And Chill Penguin's like throwing frozen penguins at him and saying, "You do anything, I'm gonna break his ice thing. He's gonna die," or whatever. And he just, what was it? He just didn't care. He shot at him anyways, or something like that. Or no. I'm sorry. I remember now. The guy who was frozen broke out of the ice.
What's his name? I forget.
Yeah, it's like Marth. He broke out, grabbed Chill Penguin, and basically did the whole Dragon Ball Piccolo like sacrifice thing, where you have to hold the bad guy, tell your friend you got to shoot him through me, so we're both gonna die, but I'm gonna have to sacrifice, but I'm gonna save the day for you. Yeah. That character, Marth, nowhere in the game. Is not there at all.
Also, the dude from
Which dude?
Oh my, Super Smash Bros. Fucking Marth there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Fucking so he's frozen in like ice for like a couple of years or some shit, and then he just powers
I think
a
it was
friendship.
a few days.
It was a few days. It was when they started the whole Sigma Uprising.
And then he just suddenly just decides this shit, like to bust out right at that perfect moment.
There was a reason for it. They said something happened.
Something about the avalanche happened, and so it triggered his emergency heating system or something. I don't know.
For some reason, away with some like literal bullshit.
It was really dumb. It was really dumb. I understand it as a whole, like,
because he breathes through his skin.
It was a whole thing. I did like Chameleon in some of the panels because it's like he's basically fucking with him in the manga. X is trying to fight him and he keeps disappearing. And in the game, you can't target him at all when he goes disappeared. You can see him, but you can't actually hit him at all. And in the manga, you really feel that because he just feels like it's hopeless for him to hit him. And you have these this one nice shot of the Chameleon dude in like a menacing kind of semi-invisible form, saying, basically taunting him, saying, "You'll never be able to hit me. You're basically doomed," or whatever. He solves it by just breaking open the roof, which makes them visible for like a second, and then
shoots him in one hit and kills him.
And it just shoots him in one hit and kills him. And it's like,
wait, we skipped fucking Spark Mandrill.
Is there much to talk about Spark Mandrill? He had like a mini boss before him that was like, I have to do everything to prove myself to Spark Mandrill, and then that thing dies, and then And then Mega Man goes to fight Spark Mandrill, and he's like, that guy was a piece of shit. He didn't know anything about loyalty. And Mega Man felt bad for the thing that was trying to kill him 5 minutes ago. And he was like, how dare you treat your subordinate that way? And then he shoots him and then kill. There was something else with that fight where he defeated him.
It's like where like someone's like, oh wait, hold on, are you like the legendary Mega Man or some shit? I'm like, wait, hold on, no one knows his name is Mega Man. That's like 2/3 of his name.
So it seemed like in the manga, at least, they had all referred to him as X. Nobody actually knew his name was Mega Man. Mega Man to them was the legendary, like, older Mega Man. And so nobody actually knew that X is a new version of Mega Man.
I don't know. It looks very similar to me.
Yeah.
Put 2 and 2 together.
Well, I don't know. It sounded like these people didn't know what Mega Man looked like. It sounded like they didn't even have context to. They just referred to him as a legendary old-time Reploid. Because
he wasn't a Reploid, just a regular robot.
Whatever. They just referred to it as a legendary thing to the point where they thought the fact that he could wall jump was apparently legendary to all of them. They've never heard of that in their entire lives, okay? But this one guy from the past was able to do it. So he's the big bad for them. Anyways, so what other boss was there? So you had Chill Penguin, Spark Mandrill, Flame Mammoth. Flame Mammoth was just burning Reploids in like a factory.
Aced.
Just killing them all and saying, fuck you, Mega Man.
Armadillo.
Armadillo was like, you defeated Spark Mandrill.
No, Saint Chameleon. Because I was going to kill him for some reason. I'm not sure why.
He was like, you defeated Chameleon, and now I have to fight you. Because I believe you're a samurai or whatever. You're a true samurai or something like that. It was like a samurai fight in the middle of all this. I didn't know at first he was supposed to be one of the bosses. I thought he was just some dude. It was just like.
I was confused as shit.
And I didn't, because I was like, oh, are we gonna?
Also, they gave him a sword.
Yeah, and so I'm like, is this just an extra person who's just like, fuck Mega Man, I want to fight him to prove myself? No, he's just one of the bosses you were supposed to fight in the game. Also, the chameleon thing, so each of the areas has something happen to them in the story based on whatever the events were. So, yeah. Chill Penguin's thing was, Chill Penguin was trying to cause an avalanche that was going to, like, destroy the city. That was his plan. Chameleon was putting weapons on the animals in the jungle, basically making them like robot, like cybernetic like animals that are killing things. Basically just attaching like a rifle and a beam thing on top of animals. So Zero wants to burn the fucking forest down to kill them all. That's his solution. Very quick and easy. And Mega Man's like, how about before you do that, I'm going to go try to deal with the bad guy. He's like, you have 24 hours. Good luck.
I like to mention, by the way, if Zero launched the missile, X would have still been in the forest.
Listen.
I didn't give a fuck.
Zero, for some reason, was really adamant about killing the animals. I think he just really didn't like animals.
Truly.
What was after the...
Oh, wait, and then Spark Mandrill's thing was he took over the power plant.
Yeah, he took over the power plant. So after the avalanche thing happened, they said a power in some city was getting interrupted. I thought it was related to Chill Penguin. It wasn't. It was just the fact that Spark Mandrill took over the power plant. And then you had the octopus guy underwater. It's like taking over the underwater thing. The manga, you're like, he's tricked by a mermaid, a Reploid, I guess. That's a Reploid too, right? It was just like a mermaid Reploid for some reason.
You skipped Storm Eagle.
Yeah, we can go. The order doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Storm Eagle will happen. Storm Eagle will still be there.
The order doesn't matter.
You can choose your own path with this. Okay, so, led by the mermaid. The mermaid's basically Mega Man thinks I'm going to help these people. I'm going to help them.
Justin was right with the mer people. Hold on.
The mer people were actually in Mega Man X all along, Justin. They were here. So
I never want to see mer people again.
Why not? Why not? They're basically tricked because she thinks if I bring Mega Man to launch Octopus, he'll let my people go. Obviously, that wasn't going to happen. Obviously, she just got trolled or whatever. She, like, dies fighting the octopus thing with Mega Man?
Yeah.
I think so.
And then after he defeats the octopus, she is still alive and is put into a computer?
Yeah, he finds like I guess some kind of chip.
He's cured, okay? He's cured.
So we got an AI mermaid inside of like a computer now, and she's like, "You better come back for me. Better come back to me later." Doesn't come back. He's not coming back. He's not. She's stuck in that computer forever. All that stuff with Stormy Eagle.
I didn't care.
Not only did I not care, it was supposed to be a whole flashback thing about Zero, though. I understand they were trying to give more screen time to Zero. It's supposed to be a whole Zero and Eagle. This was their past together, growing up as hunters in training or whatever. It was very long. I did not care. I did think it was weirdly neat that they made it a fact to point out that Eagle had a girlfriend Reploid for some reason.
Oh, but she's dead, so who cares?
Which was only introduced so she could die, and to give him some more backstory. Only for him to be fighting Mega Man and Zero, be destroying them until like Mega Man feels like
some bullshit,
doing the bullshit. Okay, he does the bullshit, and then they're just like, "This is all actually a test." I just really had to make sure you were ready to fight Sigma.
And then Eagle gives the HUD part to X, which he never uses whatsoever.
Yeah. So, am I remembering right? Did the Eagle person kill Zero in this, or was it Vava later in the manga?
It was later.
Vava in the manga.
Bye.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
it was. Yeah,
there's
he
layers.
During the Vava fight.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Because all I remember is in the game, Vava shows up, kills him. And you walk in, he's like in a cage or whatever. You beat Vava, and then he just dissolves. So he just disappears and goes away.
Yeah, in one hit.
In one hit.
Once
Zero.
again,
Poor Zero. I don't know how I feel about Zero in the manga, and the game too. Just showing up, not doing things, and then dying. I
believe he's supposed to serve as like the player's motivation, more or less.
Just to like motivation. Like,
you lose to Vile, then he beats Vile, and Zero says, "Look, bud, once you get good enough, you might be as good as me."
I'm not talking about Vava. I'm talking about Zero.
He's still part of it because he beats Vile like he beats his like.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. That's true because he's the one who showed up at the beginning and stopped Vava when he was gonna kill Mega Man. Okay, I see.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. It was trying to do a whole like their very like deep relationship between each other, Mega Man and Zero, and then in the manga tried doing that more so, but it really just came across as Mega Man was doing stuff while Zero was just looking around for a place very poorly.
Zero just shows up every here and there.
And then the place he was trying to find was just a giant flying battleship. And I'm just here like, that doesn't seem like that'd be that hard to find. But I don't...
Look, in the game, Zero gets it done like pretty easily.
So, the boomerang guy, the manga gave him a whole separate brain station area.
Yes.
Not at all related to the game at all. Don't know what that was about. Another case of like, all right, we gotta do something more with this bad guy, but it like made no sense for his character. His whole thing was just like he's able to respond faster or something like that.
He's just very fast. He's just very in the game. He's just very fast.
And because they were trying to be like, oh, his brain is actually somewhere else as like an excuse for some other power difference thing with how he moves, I guess. And I was just like, this didn't need to be here. I don't know. They were trying to do something with him. I just didn't really care for it.
Also, by the way, shame that he's the last boss because his weapon's most interesting in like forms of interactions with other bosses. He actually cut off the boss's parts. In
the game, the boomerang thing is one of the like most useful upgrades you get, and then Mega Man never uses it in the manga. It's like one of the because it's a boomerang. You could send it off into a whole bunch of areas, and it can grab
items. You can cut off like parts of the bosses.
Yeah.
The real question is the game worth playing? Yes or no?
Well,
that you're ahead.
personally, I don't think I like Mega Man games just for my play style. Game-wise, I think it's fun because I like the idea of you get to choose the direction of bosses you fight, and depending on which ones you beat first, other areas are affected by it, and the different weapons you get. Because, like, the game has this whole thing where, like, the beginning of the game is very tough until you beat one of the bosses. Then you can use the upgrade, go to different areas, experiment with what's changed, and you can upgrade yourself. It snowballs into how easier it can get, because you can get more of these items that do something directly differently to other things and changes different stages. I think that's pretty cool.
Additionally, I mentioned this. If you get a game over, you still get like any of the items you found in the stage. So if you find like a heart tank or a sub tank, hey, you still keep that.
Except the one thing I didn't like about the game, if you use the energy, because your regular blaster you can use unlimited. All the other things you have to find ammo for in the game. Each of the weapons has like its own ammo thing that you have to find things for like energy slots or something like that.
Yeah.
And if you're in a boss battle and you keep dying to it, if you used all of that weapon in the first fight, you're not getting it back in the later fights until you lose all your lives, because you're locked in to only fight the boss next.
Yeah, they fix that in later games.
Good, because that is annoying as shit right now for me to deal
And then
with.
also additionally, X4, one of the upgrade parts, just gives you unlimited ammo for your weapons.
Base, nice.
That's actually like the one head part I actually like.
The one thing I will say, Mega Man doesn't seem like the kind of game for me, because a lot of the gimmick is that, you know, you have to shoot these enemies, but the way they try to make them difficult in some areas is you have to jump to shoot them, but you have to jump a very tiny amount, or like shoot at a very tiny amount of the jump. They're like just barely out of reach of your stuff, to the point where if you jump, you're going to be too high. And so you have to time like where you're shooting like as you fall down. And I don't like that. That's very annoying for me, to where like I have to like deal with enemies like that, especially when they're all flying and shit. So personally, I don't like that kind of combat mechanic. I understand its gimmick as like a side scroller, but personally I don't enjoy those kind of things. I don't think. It's just that annoying, like, just out of reach enemy hitbox, and the only way to hit it is you have to go way out of the hitbox and then fall down and shoot it as you fall down or something like that. Unless you're using the energy weapons. The energy weapons make it way easier to kill these things.
Yeah.
But like I said,
once again, no reason to use your other weapons.
But like I said, using those costs you energy, and you have to find the energy ammo from enemy drops to keep them up. So if you want to make sure you have the stuff in time for it's a whole thing. I don't want to talk about the game the whole time or whatever. All you gotta know is very different, the manga from the game, especially in terms of like all the story it's trying to do in the manga. None of that stuff exists naturally in the game. Probably exists in the manual that Shadow keeps referencing, but does not exist at all.
I will mention some of the characters are like accurate in as to the manual. Like Sting Chameleon's pretty accurate.
All I know is the main premise of like Sigma is making all the hunters rise up against you because they want to kill the humans.
Rise up, Sigma male.
That is not a thing at the beginning of the game. You're just told that things are happening now. You're like, oh, this is the legendary Mega Man X. This is the note I'm leaving behind as the doctor. He's the one, basically. And then you're just like walking around the highway shooting things, and then Bava shows up, and then Zero shows up, and then he's like, you gotta go fight Sigma. And I'm like, who? And then you deal with that. So Mega Man X, the manga, though, I enjoy it more for like, you know, the fact that it actually guides where he's trying to go. He's like, okay, I have to deal with Sigma. Before I can get to Sigma, I have to deal with all of his 8 henchmen dudes. And you have to stop the evil things that they're doing in each of the areas. So he's got to like stop them and save the areas at the same time. And I just wish it looked better with all the fighting he was doing to get there. I understand this has to be an action manga. I feel like I would have enjoyed this more if this was not an action manga until the boss fights. Because I feel like, especially more so on the way to get to the bosses, I had no clue what was going on in the fights that he was doing.
Yeah.
It needs color.
Yeah, I feel like that would vastly improve
Color would
it.
help a lot.
Fun
I don't
thing,
think it would make
there's
sense.
a different Mega Man manga for the original games that's in full color.
Oh, nice.
Good.
What are you
It
saying,
wouldn't
Mako?
fix it, but it would make it
things
a lot
easier.
better.
Also,
Right.
also, you can tell what weapon X is using at any given time because of that.
Sure.
I just wish the manga had him use more than the Buster. in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
manga.
like it uses E-Spark on fucking Armadillo and uses Shotgun Ice on Mandrill, then nothing else. Because use
Yeah.
any of his other weapons.
In the game, I'm like, those two things happen. You can cut the octopus, launch octopus's arms off with the cutter tool from the
Yep.
boomer guy. The wind ability that you get from the eagle dude, very useful for clearing enemies in the game.
Justin, you also get a lot of uses of it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that gimmick is really cool with the games. I just wish it had more fun with that kind of stuff. I wanted more kind of puzzle solving with that in the manga, I guess. More of the realization of like, I have these things, so now I can use these to do these things.
I don't know, just have like a bit where like Mega Man is fighting like one of the bosses and he has like 6 different weapons and he just like tries each of them
And
and
when
like process the elimination, you know?
in the game, you go through each of the bosses. Then to get to Sigma, you have to fight through all of them again, along with some mini bosses.
It's a Mega Man thing, yeah.
And that part I'm fine with.
Yeah, that's great because you have all the weapons. You know what to do.
You
now.
have
A lot
all the
easier.
weapons. You're intended to, at that point, to be utilizing all of the weapons to get through the stage, to have a chance at fighting Sigma. The manga does not, like we said, only uses 2 of times where he uses one of those weapons against something else. Or 3 times.
One on, yeah, because he uses on Snake Meal, but it backfires immediately.
He uses them, and then... But I would have expected it more to be, at the very least, him
Like, at the
trying to
end.
utilize them in the final fight against Sigma.
Yeah, but then he doesn't.
So
Beats Sigma in like 1 hit.
Sigma's
and then
motivation is just, I want to kill humans because I've realized they suck. And we're based, and they're cringe. So let's kill them. And all the other ones are, yeah. And all the ones that aren't like, yeah, immediately, he's like, wow, you're a traitor. We got to kill you. So Mega Man's one of them. And, oh yeah, he's supposed to have a dog, like, thing.
Yes. I'm glad they skipped that because I really don't care.
I just thought that was weird in the game where he's like, yeah, this is my dog. And the dog seemed way easier than all of the other bosses in the game.
Yeah, I don't know. It's there. It's like, here's the appetizer X, my dog.
It's
doesn't
just
have a name.
like, get him Leroy, like he's just sending a robot dog at him, and it's like, oh. And
Also in the manga, like Sigma's castle's like 2 rooms.
is that
Like, it feels very
yeah.
small.
It was like it was like a whole fucking 4-level thing you had to go through before. Oh
Yeah,
my
and it was
God.
like there's all these different sections. There's this part where you gotta like climb up vertically. There's like the place like the open air where you
Right.
fight Storm Eagle.
I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted in how I feel about parts of it. Obviously, I'm not a fan of how the action moves with the manga. I like it in concept of what it seemed like Iwamoto was trying to do in terms of structuring the story and like adding additional stakes to each area he's going to. But most of the villains had nothing to them extra. I think like Flame Mammoth, the chameleon guy, the stuff going on with Marth and the penguin or whatever, like those were doing more things, and I guess Spark Mandrill a little bit. And then the other ones were like, here's a random backstory about
Eagle's girlfriend.
Eagle's girlfriend and Zero, and the time his girlfriend died. So, like, was the point of it to try to be like, this is why he wants to fight Zero now? No, it had nothing to do with that. So I don't know why we had to see all of that. I don't know. I had trouble understanding why all the other robots suddenly joined up with Sigma. It seemed like a couple of them wanted to because they were evil, and then Eagle's like, "Oh, I had to join because I didn't want to. I wanted to like, I don't know, like spy on them or like not get targeted by them or something."
A lot of the plot beats in this, a lot of the plot elements just felt very much like, well, they have to.
Yeah.
Which is weird because, as I mentioned before, like some of the like motivation for the villains is like the same in the manual, but then like the weird ones like Storm Eagle isn't.
Yeah.
Like, not just the why are the villains all like why are they all becoming villains and stuff, but also like, well, just a lot of things like the weapons things, where it's like, well, we just have to. They just have to.
Like X doesn't use like 7 of his 9 weapons, which
Like
is
it's very rushed and more than just go 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 go, but it's also just it felt very rushed in production and such of just like not really planning anything out.
main
Aside
thing, not
from
playing anything out.
we gotta have these different enemies and then Sigma. Go 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 go.
Sigma male fight them all. Like when I hear the name Sigma, I assume he's supposed to be a combination of all of their abilities or whatever. Because that's what Sigma means, right? It's supposed to be a summation of things. And it was just like I'm big guy.
I also got a lightsaber.
Yeah, he had a lightsaber.
Okay, this is the thing in the game. You just pulled out a lightsaber. It's like, what?
Was that in the manga? I don't remember that in the manga.
He had a sword, but it didn't look like a lightsaber.
In the game, it was just a straight up lightsaber. It was like a fucking green
lightsaber.
lightsaber.
Jango Fett makes a little more sense now.
Yeah, with the Jango Fett.
I like to mention this is the weird thing in Mega Man X. The pre-final boss feels like I've seen this guy somewhere. Like in X3, it's like Captain America.
Right. We do have messages. We do have some messages in YouTube chat, at least from Neps. I didn't catch all of them as we were talking, but I see at some point you're talking about Vava's Vial. From what I understand, Vava is the name that they called him in the manga because that's the Japanese name, I think. I don't know if that's what you were... Yeah. I don't know if you're trying to correct me or something, but the reason why I keep calling Vial Vava is because that's why I got used to from the manga. But yeah, so there's a whole bunch of stuff with the manga where I'm just like, this would probably be way better if there was less action with how the author is trying to go with it. But it seemed like they were told you have to do it in a certain way by the Capcom or whatever. Whoever had said you have to make this adaptation. It seems, at least to me, like they had given him certain like things that he had to accomplish. And he's like, well, I want to do all this other stuff. And they're like, we don't care. You don't have time for that. You get 3 volumes. Good luck. So,
correct.
And then the manga for the other ones eventually got canceled halfway, right? So
after X4 got canceled, and then they did the end of X5 exactly.
X5 if I think is what they named it as.
I don't know. There's also a manga from someone else that did exactly X7.
Goes on, what? How many X's games does it go up to? You said 9? 8? Oh my god.
There's also the one RPG. You don't need to play it. Not particularly good. Also, X7 and X6 aren't good.
Wow.
I feel like this is an accurate. I feel like this is an accurate summation of my opinions on X7.
Most of I was taking notes at first as I was reading, and then I was like, my notes are pretty much the same. He goes somewhere. Villain has a special thing about that, like their area that they're fucking up. Mega Man looks like his ass is getting kicked, and then he wins. And then he says, "But my friends," and shoots him once, really well, and then he gets a power up that he doesn't use. That's like most of my notes, but like with different names attached to them.
Like, I was honestly surprised how much of a boss rush it was.
Yeah. I get it. They have to do
just
it.
The amount of Chekhov's gun that showed up, like just the amount of it.
Well, like I said, I get it because they have to go through all 8 of the bosses because that was the story of the game. He has to fight through the 8 bosses in order to get to it. The author just wanted to also try to introduce some story with it. And it just seemed like we have no time to develop any of the things you're trying to develop. And so it does feel like a boss. I thought it was going to be even more so. I thought it was going to be like one boss, one chapter. Because I'm like, we have 13 chapters and we have 8 bosses. Some of these bosses take up like 2-3 chapters. I'm like, what? I don't know. So I don't know. I'm kind of mixed in terms of like, now that I've played the game and I see the differences between how the game was presented and how the manga was presented, I think I'm a little biased towards like enjoying the manga more in terms of the story it was trying to do, but it still did not have time to do anything much with it. And
I feel like if you want to enjoy the game and the story, just like play the PSP version.
I don't have a PSP, so I don't know if I'll be doing that.
Well, I mean on emulator, I guess.
What? You want me to break the law? You want me to go to my video
Chef,
store?
you don't have a Super Nintendo with Mega Man X.
It's
There's no
piracy,
way.
you pussy.
Listen, listen. This manga may or may not be officially licensed, and so we had to go to our local video stores to read it. But that's a different story entirely. Okay, I played the game to understand the story. I read the manual. That's what I did. I didn't.
What?
You'd also-
No, I bought
also-
the official English translation. I don't know about you guys.
That's. I think you got scammed because there is no official English translation.
No, there is.
Oh,
worry about it.
Did you make
That's
it?
how we
Did
did
you
this
make it?
legally.
Oh my god.
Actually, I can just read Japanese.
Oh, base.
Yeah.
True. That's what we're gonna go with. Okay, we went, we just learned Japanese and read it all.
honestly, like, if
So
you
actually,
want to enjoy the game and the story, just play the
Actually,
PSP
Chuck
version.
read it
Konnichiwa.
to us.
Yeah, I
It was-
read it
it's
to
a-
everybody.
It was a bedtime story every day.
Every
Additionally, the
night.
PSP version also has, like,
Ohio.
a 30-minute like backstory. So there's that too.
We had 2 weeks, right? And there was 13 chapters. So every night
You
before we all went to
suck,
bed,
boss.
I read it in Japanese and I translated for everybody. That was how we read it.
And I was suffering the whole time.
Turndo, what did you think about Mega Man X or Mega Man in general?
Miranda?
Turndo, are you here?
Miranda? We haven't heard him all stream. I'm a little scared.
I mean, I think that's a good response to it too. You know?
Base. He might not be here right now. Yeah. So, I don't know how I exactly feel about that, because it's like, I wouldn't say this is terrible. I would say it's very forgettable. But I at least appreciate the author's attempt to do a couple things extra with the stories with each of the bosses. I at least appreciate that. Again, it's a whole thing where they didn't have time to flesh that out as much as they probably wanted to, but that's what you have to work with. Some of the story, I understand he was trying to do something with like Storm Eagle. It didn't really feel like it added anything to it, really. So because of like the whole fact of like, I was actually a good guy the whole time. I was just testing you. And, like,
Also, the fact that it just drags on for far too long.
it goes for so long. That's the one where I was like, this is
70 pages.
This is 70 pages, and normally the 70 pages in this series don't really matter because a lot of it's action fights. That one was a lot of flashbacks between him and Zero, and I didn't care for most of it. So
I just remembered. So we didn't mention the dumb part with Sigma where he fights him in space. We didn't mention that. That was weird.
that whole final fight, I don't think I gave a shit. We were supposed to be
Me
hyping
neither.
up the climax fight. I think I had checked
And
out at that point.
beats him in one. X beats him in one. I'm like, what the?
He beats him in one hit, and then I think he was like the battleship was going to crash into the Earth or something like that.
I don't. Yeah, yes, and he used Sigma's cape, which
He
is apparently just
survived.
immune to everything.
He survived falling from space because he had Sigma's cape that protects you from like energy blasts or something like that. I'm like,
I guess explosion cuts in energy blast.
you
people
fell
like
from
that.
space. What? I don't. And like, if I'm Sigma and I have that cape, why am I not? Why
Why
am
do you
I?
take it off? Why do you take it off?
Why am I taking this off ever? Why am I taking damage
I-
from this fucking guy? What am I doing? A lot of it was trying to be Mega Man, trying to have pride in himself. A lot of it was him,
Some shit.
because a lot of it early on, especially, was him saying,
God
"I'm
damn, we
not
should read
strong
it
enough."
during Pride Month.
The Vava stuff at the beginning was like very demoralizing to him because he's like, I got my ass kicked, Zero saved me, but I don't know if I'm ready to fight all these other people. So the whole point of all the other fights in the manga, at least, is for him to become more and more, like confident in himself by going through these fights, getting these upgrades, bettering himself. And then Vava shows up at the end and he's like, yeah, you're pathetic. He's like, well, I have hope now. And then he shoots him.
And then he beats him
hard.
in one. Also, by the way, he gets the arm part from Zero and never uses it.
Listen, that's a running theme, okay? You mentioned Chekhov's gun stuff. I felt like most of it, I don't even know. What would the term be for something that seems like it would be a Chekhov's gun that just is not a Chekhov's gun? What would the term be for that? It was just a thing that happened and you're like, oh, that's going to come back later, and then it doesn't. I feel like there should be a
Oh.
term for that. I don't know what it is, but
Oh,
that
no.
happened a lot in this manga. And I don't know.
Do you call that red herring? But I'm not sure. That doesn't work. I wouldn't say it's a red
A
herring.
red herring seems like it'd be more for like if you're supposed to be led to believe something, like you're supposed to be led to believe a certain person is like a bad guy or something, and it turns out
That's
they're
what
not the bad
it's
guy.
what we like to call the writer forgot.
Yeah, lost plotline, missed plotline.
Yeah, there you go. Welcome back, Turndo. Turndo, what were your thoughts on Mega Man X and Mega Man?
I really enjoyed like the hero's journey. I thought it was like at the beginning I kind of felt it was a little bit weak because I didn't quite get it. But like when you see it as like I don't know, an inspirational manga, I think it really shines there. Because it's like I don't think it's supposed to be read like too and deeply. It's like it's just supposed to be inspirational and kind of cool.
Yeah, I can understand, like, his, like I said, it is a lot of the whole, you get your ass kicked by Vava at the beginning, now you have to, it kind of reminded me of the whole Familiar of Zero, what's his name? I already forgot his name. Saito getting his ass kicked by, I don't even remember, the pedophile dude there. He gets his ass kicked by a pedo dude.
Wards or something.
Yeah, Wards.
Yeah.
He gets his ass kicked.
Remembering.
It's not
in
just
3
that he gets
weeks.
his ass kicked. He gets his ass kicked in front of the girl he likes. So he feels like, especially, he rubs the salt in the wounds where he's like, you aren't able to protect her. You're like weak or whatever. And he feels like a depressed piece of shit, like later, the entire few volumes after that because of that. And I was kind of reminded of that with like that whole beginning fight of getting destroyed by Vava. And then it's like, now you're just, no matter how much you're beating these other bosses, there's still that voice in the back of his head being like, you're not good enough yet. Because it's all these upgrades. Because you're getting all these upgrades, you're getting all these parts, you're getting all these chips to better yourself and make yourself like more buffed up. And I kind of want to
use them.
So I would be fine with him not using them if that was saved until the end. So here's what I would have wanted.
Yeah.
Here's what I would have wanted.
Goes with everything. Yeah.
No. Here's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, like, if you had a thing where he's getting all these upgrades and he's actively using these upgrades against the bad guys, on the way to the final big bad, and then the way that he defeats him was having confidence in his own unique abilities and not using those upgrades, I'd be more cool about that. I'd think that was amazing because, like, it's a whole thing where, he's actually devoting himself to have confidence in himself. So he's getting rid of, like, not bothering to use those things thematically. That'd be cool. Instead, it was just, I don't use these things throughout, like, most of the series. And then I just happen to defeat him in the end by saying, I believe in myself now, or something like that. There was no, like, thematic use of those kind of elements of it. Because the whole point was you're building yourself up, and then you're supposed to have confidence in yourself. But you're, like, I don't know. I don't know if whatever I just said makes sense, but in my head, that would have been more thematically cool, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, I mean,
as like a whole
like
thing.
A similar thing in X3. It's like a similar thing in X3, like where like the boss is weak to like this weapon, but then the final boss, you got to use the Mega Buster. That's the only weapon that works.
That's the only thing that works.
Yeah.
I'm having something weird happen with my stream where my frames are all dropping, and I don't know why. But I mean, at the very least, it'll be in the VOD, I guess. I hope. I don't know. Anyways, what else we got? Anybody else have thoughts they want to ramble about while I fix things?
Play Mega Man X on the PSP.
Yeah. What do you guys think about? What do you guys think about Sigma's whole idea of Reploids overthrowing the humans? I thought that was really cool, especially with the current AI stuff.
They just destroy all humans. Let's do it.
I kind of wanted more from him about why he thinks that. It didn't really. It seemed like he was just realized that they're lesser than them, and then that was it. I kind of wanted more of a reason for it. I don't know exactly what that reason would be for Sigma himself, but I also don't know anything about Sigma himself. I think that was also a thing that I wanted more of.
I know this is like fucking devolved more in like the later games. But I think Sigma mentions that like the problem isn't the people, the problem is the world itself.
Anarchist?
What?
Sounds like because like if you think about it, Sigma's like his character is
me and my children. We're going to the moon.
He destroys other defective Reploids, right? He said, "Oh, it's
Well, used to.
he's like he says he says he's doing this for the Reploids, but then like he turns around and he like kills traitors, and it's like the things he says and the things he does is just so completely dissonant. And then Mega Man usually says, you know, he's fighting to protect the weak, but like Mega Man, like we don't see any humans, which I thought was very interesting, except for like maybe a few token characters. But this just feels more like a Reploid versus Reploid like Civil War, which is just very interesting to see.
Right. Yeah, I like. Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I like some of the ideas that we were trying to go with. I just kind of wanted more time for them to get explored. I think.
Yeah.
I like it in concept, Iwamoto. I appreciate your effort. You needed more time to cook. They had to give more time to cook. So, I don't know. My stream is still giving me dropped frames. A lot of them. I'm assuming the stream is still up.
Yeah, stream's still up on my end.
It's probably
So we're fine.
it's probably very delayed or something, but that's whatever.
Sorry.
Okay. What else do we got here? Anything else?
YouTube's having problems with streams right now.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt to stop the kick stream.
I can just stop the most important
Stop
one,
the
Chip.
count.
I should probably also stop Twitch, maybe. YouTube's the important one, I think, because that's where like the VOD's gonna be that people actually watch sometimes, on occasion. I don't actually
Yeah, I'm pretty
think
sure
anybody.
YouTube's having problems.
Okay, Kick is turned off. I don't think anybody's watching on Twitch. If they are, sorry, I'm turning it off. Go to youtube.com/Wolfborg2Gs.
Gangster.
Okay. It says stopping stream, but I think I have to wait a while because the dropped frames means it's still trying to send the frames. Oh boy. Network issues. True. Hopefully, when I turn off the Twitch stream, it should be fine. Once it finally processes the fact that I've told it to stop. Hopefully. Otherwise, I will have to restart the YouTube
Not
stream
interested.
memes. What I really need to do, because I don't have it set up right now. Right now, I don't have YouTube as the default thing I stream to. Right now, I have Twitch as the default thing I stream to, but I have a multi-stream setup for Kick and YouTube, like a plugin that lets you do that. So I don't actually know if I'm dropping frames on YouTube right now. Probably. You know what? I'm gonna restart YouTube stream real quick. Okay, I've turned it back on again. Are we good?
I don't know.
It says excellent connection as soon as I did. I think we're back. Again.
Okay.
Are we good? Yeah, alright. It looks like we're good now. Alright. Sorry for the interruption, if there was any, on YouTube side. Okay. What were we talking about?
We're talking about the end.
The end of Mega Man X. I don't remember most of it. That final fight, I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember anything except they crash into Earth and he protects himself with
X
the
realized,
cape.
oh, I just can't beat Sigma, I guess. What do I do?
I don't know. I wanted something more with
Yeah.
what was going on with that end. That's just how I felt like with most of it. It's like interesting me at times, but not quite. It's kind of like when I'm playing the game and I'm trying to shoot the enemies. They're like just slightly out of range for what I want. Just slightly to where it's annoying for me to reach that. And that's kind of how I felt like with the manga too. But I don't know. That was my impression of it. If everybody else were to summarize their experience with it, how would you guys do it? Justin, how would you summarize your experience?
Pain. I just if we're being serious for a second,
Yeah, no.
I literally just couldn't fucking follow it. I couldn't actually tell what was going on at any point. I couldn't follow the action scenes. I couldn't tell who was talking. I felt like we jumped fucking areas like in a blink of an eye, and I didn't know where
Oh
we
wait, oh
went.
actually, Justin, now I think about it, how big do you think? Like how far away is each area? Do you think?
I have no fucking. Apparently, you fucking next door.
Yeah, they're not even
Right
that far.
there.
Yeah.
At
Well,
one point, he went to Alaska.
Alaska's
just came
apparently
back?
just right next to the big city.
Yeah, like
I
he
was like,
okay, I need to go to Alaska, and then the next like 2 chapters later, he's like, all right, I'm back, and
oh shit,
Oh,
this
no.
is sideways. Whoops.
when they said
okay.
an avalanche was going to destroy the city, I thought they meant a city in Alaska, not the city they were currently in. I was confused with that. I was like, what do you mean Alaska's avalanche is gonna kill everything? What? I don't know. I mean, in reality, it would just kill Canada, right? So we just get rid of that. I mean,
that would just destroy Alaska, which is part of the U.S. I don't know what you're talking about.
the avalanche is from Alaska. It's gonna go into Canada, right? It's gonna kill Canada.
I won't destroy the entirety of Canada. I'll destroy like what's next to it.
They made it
think
sound
my-
like it would in the manga. I don't know.
I think my summary is that Mega Man
Here's
is
the map.
a bad ripoff of Metroid.
Wait, what? This is
What?
not even close.
They're
What?
basically the same thing.
They're
There's
basically
no-
the same thing.
There's
Basically.
no aliens.
Listen,
Yet.
Metroid
I saw
Zero,
some
okay?
aliens that
Mega
may
Man
go,
Zero, just saying. Just saying. All right, Arimia, how would you summarize your experience with Mega Man X?
It was a pretty rushed adaptation that I just didn't care for. It's I can only assume that it's meant for people who are already fans of the series, and even
which,
then,
you know, there's
even
me.
then, I don't feel like you're getting much out of it aside from ooh, it's the boss,
It's that guy.
and that's about it.
It's him. It's Flame Mammoth. Oh my
I
god.
can only imagine this didn't do well in Japan because it's just not. There's not really much to it,
Damn.
and the art's fine, but they're clearly not an action artist. So it's not. There's just not really a good selling point for it. Not good reason to read it. I feel like I don't really know. I still don't know much about Mega Man aside from there's robots that want to kill humanity, which is most robot stories, if we're being honest.
We're all humans, baby.
So yeah.
Yeah, when I think about it, a lot of this manga was just marketing for the bad guys. That'd be like, whoa, I know them. Like a nostalgia factor, I guess, for like if you knew the boss.
Nostalgia. This came out the same, like around the same time.
But you
said.
know what I mean, where it's like if you're a fan and you're reading it, you'd be like, oh, whoa, that's that guy. Oh, Pog, Pog.
I mean, that wasn't me. I'll tell you that much.
Well, listen, for other people, real fans, okay, ones
Okay,
that aren't
real-
fake fans, okay. You didn't even know the lore about Mega Man
I
being able to
forgot
break the
for a
laws
sec.
of robotics. I
forgot.
knew that. I knew that after playing one game. You fake fan, okay. Listen.
I forgot for a second. Okay, look, there's like 50 games of Mega Man knowledge stuck in my brain.
All right. Well, Shadow, how would you summarize your experience?
This is painful. Also played Mega Man X on the PSP.
Okay, duly noted. I will definitely do that. That's on my list of things I will definitely do. Don't worry, it's going to happen.
Like,
Yeah,
you've
definitely.
almost beat the original game. It can't be that much harder.
Listen, okay, the whole experience has just taught me that I probably don't like Mega Man games. I'm interested in Mega Man, like the bosses, because I think the bosses are pretty cool in the game, but I'm not into Mega Man in general, based on that first game at least. But I don't know.
I mean, there's also the RPGs, which play like heavily differently.
Okay, well, maybe in the future I'll check out some of the other things. Maybe. A strong maybe. I'm not going on my way to set up emulators though, probably. Don't expect that.
I mean, it's also on Steam.
If it's on Steam, it makes it a lot easier for me. I know when I got this on Steam, I got some Mega Man X like collection thing, so there's more than just the first game in there.
Yeah, I think that's the first four. Which,
y-
honestly,
If
if
it's
you're gonna
ever-
play any of them, just play the first four.
If it's
Like
ever
X
free on
Fight.
Steam, I'll check it out.
If it's what?
if it's ever
Ever
free.
on Steam, I'll check it out.
So if we gift it to you, you'll definitely play it, right?
It's not what I said.
It's like $8 the first four.
All right, Turndo, how would you summarize your experience? Oh, wait, no, I think I already asked you that.
derived
But I mean, you can go
Well,
again.
I guess I'm just going. Yeah. I derived a lot of enjoyment from this. I don't know why, but like, I've never really seen or played much of Mega Man, but after like comparing this to stuff like Pluto or Astro Boy, I feel like they
Uh,
try to do too much. Whereas like Mega Man is like this great like one shot like self-contained story that's just really fun to read.
It's just like a little like bite-sized like action boss rush fun thing. I understand that viewpoint of it. I don't know. For me, I was just, again, it was like from my experience, it was a lot of these boss fight things. They look really cool. They seem pretty cool. I just kind of, I mean, in concept, I mean, not in terms of like how they moved in the actual fights or whatever, but some of like the frames of how the art looks with these things, I thought was really nice when they remembered to draw the mouth at least. But
which is funny because half of them don't have a mouth.
and I really appreciated Iwamoto trying to do more with the story of all these villains. I just wanted a little more, and I understand it was probably just he didn't have time to cook. But thematically, we could have been doing some cool stuff when it came to Mega Man's trying to like get confidence in himself and all these parts or whatever, And I feel like if we're gonna develop all these extra stories about all these other villains, you probably should for your big bad villain too. Sigma should probably get more than I hate humans one day, so die. I should probably have more than that.
In the game, he also caught a virus, so
Because why not, Caught the Rona. Decides to kill humans.
Then spread said virus to like everyone else.
That was how I interpreted that in the manga. I interpreted them becoming irregulars as a virus that infected them. That's what I interpreted. I don't know if that was how it was supposed to come off, but that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah, that's kind of how it's supposed to. Although the manga, it just said, "Hey, I got a bomb in me. If I betray Sigma, I die."
Oh yeah, that was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Did that ever come up?
That wasn't in the game, though.
No, I just mean in the manga.
Oh, in the manga, I think Armored Armadillo kills himself because
I remember that part because he was saying I have a bomb inside of me, but
Spark Ninja wants to join X because he was Mega Man.
When that happened,
bomb goes off. Whoops.
When that happened, I was like, so are these just excuses to kill these people so that they're not there anymore? Because I know a couple times some of them tried to beg for their life. One of them was just trying to trick Mega Man. I think that was like the penguin guy who was like, I can help. We can fight him together. Don't worry. And then he's like, I gotcha. Like he tried that. Mandrill just actually was trying to beg for his life and was like, oh, I'll help you beat him. And then he was destroyed. And that was supposed to be thematic for him because
and then weird hologram Sigma showed up. Does he know when this happens? How do you do this?
Well, a lot of he shows up, he activates the bomb in him as a hologram and then leaves. I'm like, is he just watching Mega Man the whole time? Why wouldn't he be doing anything? He's just waiting for him to kick their asses.
It's all the scene that Sigma's watching while on his monitor at one point, so
And the Mandrill thing, I was like, okay, well, I at least get it for like why thematically it makes sense for him to be like, I'm gonna like kill him with a bomb I put inside of him, even though it's a random thing that only came up at that point. I was like, I at least get it because his whole thing for the past 2 chapters prior to this was him being like, real loyalty is being able to do anything no matter the cost. If you say you're gonna do something, it has to get done. If you're my henchman and you say you're gonna beat Mega Man, you better fucking beat him, otherwise you're dead to me. Like. And then at the moment he could, he was like, no, please, I can help. We can team up. We can go beat Sigma. Like, so I was like, I understand it with him. Fuck Spark Mandrill. Okay. This guy is a loser. Okay. Kill him off. Fine. But in general, that whole idea just felt like we can't have these big bosses also surviving until the end.
The side condition for this bomb is a little confusing because it's mentioned if they betray Sigma. But then Armored Armadillo goes against orders and fights X one-on-one.
No, he didn't go against orders. He got permission to do it. He went to him and he like asked for it specifically.
That doesn't
a scar on his face.
Yes, yeah.
Also, but he also said that he was going to kill Sting Chameleon for what he did. Wouldn't that be betraying orders too?
Who? Armadillo?
Yes, I think I remember him saying that.
I don't know.
Like, all right, you saved me a hassle, Mega Man. I'm going to go fix your arm real quick.
Here's what I remember. I remembered in the manga, it was he beats Chameleon. Mega Man beats Chameleon, and then you go to Armadillo talking to Sigma, saying, "I want a chance to fight him or whatever," and I think he was saying you're not worthy at first or something like that. And then he says, "I'm gonna do. Just let me do it or whatever." He's like, "Fine, do what you want." And then he goes and does it. And then I don't. And something else was going. It was like the armadillo dude had like workers there, and just had them stand aside while him and Mega Man fought in like a cave.
One-on-one, mano a mano.
Yeah.
And then he gets hit once and then kills himself.
I mean, because that's all it takes in this manga. He just one buster.
Yeah, he didn't like hit him that bad. He just covered the armor.
Because I understand in the game, the longer you hold down the charge thing for the shot, the more powerful it can be, especially when you upgrade it later. And if you have the other things, you can trigger other effects and abilities that happen. The manga, none of that comes across. You're just like, oh, so he just shot him again, but harder and with pride, I guess.
Yes.
There you go.
With friendship.
With friendship, you know, with the manga, I'm just,
friendship with your dad.
I don't know. That it's an experience. I will say that it is.
Yeah.
I will say if you are going to read this manga, I would also recommend at the very least briefly trying out the game. The game's not that long. I played it. The game takes like 5-10 hours if you're doing the whole thing, like getting all the secrets and stuff like that. It's not that long.
I can do it like an hour and a half.
Yeah, if you're more experienced, you can do it very quickly. It's not that long. It's pretty easy to play a couple levels and get the gist of like what makes that experience unique, and the boss is interesting. From my experience, because I read the manga before playing the game, I at least felt like it added to like the story that's supposed to be happening, I guess, in some kind of version.
Once again, I feel like you should play the PSP version.
Listen,
if you want a bit more story.
Listen, I am not setting up a PSP version anytime soon. I don't know a lot of people that will, but it's a thing that you could potentially do. It's an option you have.
Say if you were to check out the game, then play that version instead.
Well, that's his recommendation. For the manga, though, how are we feeling on recommend or not?
No.
Yeah. It's a waste of time.
I'd probably say the same. It's got some stuff that it might be cool, but it's just not there yet.
Out of it. You just don't get anything out of it. There's no story, really. What you get is very jumbled up and hard to follow. The action isn't good, and it's over before really anything is there that will last with you.
Right.
So no.
Wow. Do you have any good things to say about it?
I liked some of the paneling.
There's one panel I particularly like.
Yeah, there was one I remember I really liked, but I don't remember what it is now, but I remember there was a couple that stood out to me that I was like, oh, this is nice. If only this weren't action.
like this panel where Vile blocks the shell with his finger. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, no recommendation.
Well, damn. All right, well, I guess the council has spoken. Mega Man X die. Perish. That's what the council has decided. X. Rockman, no more rock and roll here. Sorry.
We will strive music with facts and logic.
I feel like this would be like just a really good manga to give to like a younger sibling or like someone just starting off into anime.
Yeah, I mean, if they just
want to,
it'd be like.
I don't know.
Again, for myself, it'd be something to where I'd recommend if you were familiar with the games and you wanted to be like, oh, that guy looks cool as like a manga art style or whatever. I feel like that might be cool.
Yeah.
I feel like if you wanted to give something to a little kid, then any of the Pokemon ones would be better.
Your recommendation is read Pokemon instead.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the other Mega Man manga stuff is.
Stuff.
Damn.
Maybe that may be better. Honestly.
All right. Well, that was Mega Man X, all 3 volumes. Oh my god! Of the first Mega Man X1. So now we have to read X2, right?
No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not.
And then X3, and then X4, and then X5 if.
After X4.
So that was Mega Man X. That was it for this week's manga discussion. There is no quiz. Don't worry. You didn't have to study for this. I would not put you through that. Okay. I wouldn't subject myself to that.
I do not remember any of the mini bosses' names.
Well, you remember
that definitely would have been questions, okay?
And
you would have had to get the manga names correct too.
That's
not the game
problem.
Names. So
I remember Vava. That's
Fava, Penguigo,
Boomer Quanger, that's the one name that's the same.
oh god, no, I
Spark
can't.
Mandriller.
Was Spark Mandrill his name in the manga? I don't even remember.
No,
if
it's
that was his
Spark Mandriller.
name. Driller.
ER.
Okay, sure. Why not? Why not?
Like, it's better than X5, where everyone's named after band members of Guns N' Roses.
Base.
No, that sounds better. What?
All
Well,
right.
that's the English names. That's the English names.
All right. Well,
Here,
that was Mega Man X. So that's all for this week with that discussion. What are we reading next? Next week's choice is from Arimia. What did you choose for us to read for next week?
We are going to read Soloist in a Cage.
Oh my god.
Hopefully it's better than this.
It is.
But
It is a 3-volume, 20-chapter Shueisha Shonen Jump. I don't think it was Shonen Jump. It was Shueisha manga. It was localized about 2 years ago, or maybe earlier than that, on the Manga Plus app. So it's fully officially localized, and it's just now getting a physical print. It's basically a dark kind of dystopia about this girl, and she's got to do stuff.
Wow.
I can't
Great
talk-
description.
So, like, I can't.
You don't have
say
to
what
give us
she's
a.
actually doing because it's a bit of a spoiler. But
Okay. All right.
and basically, she lives in this kind of prison, and it's very unsafe there. They just leave the prisoners to do whatever, to the point where they have built families and communities there, and this girl has to survive in that with her brother. And it's a bit grim, but it's pretty good.
All right. Well, that's the plan for next week. So, if you are going to be here, make sure you have read all 3 volumes of that. There should be 3 volumes, 20 chapters. Is this available to read through? I mean, we can work out the details in the chat later, but
It is on the Manga Plus app.
Okay,
so
Manga
it is
Plus.
fully on there in English, as well as I think you have to have the app specifically now. It used to be all online, but
It looks like it's getting or has gotten a 7 Seas release too, I'm assuming.
yeah, I think only the first 2 volumes. I think the last one comes out in January, but
All right. Well, that is our plan. So we'll be meeting to discuss about Soloist in a Cage next week. Wow. Anybody else have anything else they want to say before we wrap up this week?
I did forget to mention one thing
Yes,
about
what is
why the manga stops at X5.
Uh-huh.
There was supposed to only be 5 games, and then they made 4 more. Which speaks of the quality of X6 and X7.
Based. All right.
it was supposed to be 5, and then capitalism.
Yeah, I was supposed to be 5, then you do Mega Man 0, but then they made 4 more games. Like, oh, okay.
By the way, that author is has a Twitter and still actively posts Mega Man art on there. I found that. They also have
That's nice.
they have their own their own website that they post on too, and the website looks like it's legit from the 90s and it's never been updated, but they do make posts on there still.
Wonderful.
So
It's amazing.
I'll put it in the chat later for you guys to check out, because I saw it and I was like, wow, this is it's just neat how it's just that style, and just he still actively posts on there. There's posts from 2023 on there, but it still looks like it's from the 90s. But I'm assuming the dude's probably like in his 50s by now or something. So
All right, Mega Man is that old, huh?
yeah, so that's all for this week. Thanks so much, everybody, for showing up and hanging out. And we will talk to you all next week to talk about Soloist in a Cage. We will talk to you all later. Goodbye, stream. Goodbye,
Bye,
stream.
Bye.
Stream.
Bye.